Hey everybody, it's Sam Stecker of MissionMonday.com. This is part 3 of the series of blogs and podcasts that Mark and I have going called 4 Habits of Teachers That Just Have It. There's a good chance that I'm about to advise no small number of you to go against your instincts. It is also possible that I'm going to give some of you permission to engage in behavior you know in your heart to be good, but maybe you've held back in fear of reproach. First, though, let me give you a few reminders of our rationale behind these interventions. We are talking about taking intentional steps to foster positive and productive bonds with our students, resulting in greater learning. These interventions are based on the ways humans bond. And again, though all parties involved may at some points exhibit behavior that indicates otherwise, both we and our students are human. With that, take a deep breath and open your mind to the unconventional. Humans bond through physical contact. It precedes bonding through language by innumerable years. Touch is a fundamental encounter in our human social construction. So, of course, you can foster the bonds we hope to build intentionally by touching your students, right? Many teachers that have it frequently make use of this intervention nearly effortlessly, nurturing their students without even knowing they're doing so. Coaches, who are some of the best teachers in their own right, seem to be masters at this intervention. I believe it is something that many educators could use intentionally with great results. Before you completely put the brakes on, let's acknowledge the litigious concerns of advocating physical contact as an intentional bonding intervention. I know attorneys. I have heard attorneys utter phrases like, I advise that you do not engage in any inessential physical contact with students. Furthermore, as you provide training to school communities on classroom climate, I would advise that you do not advocate doing so as an intervention. The only thing that would be worse would be to put it in writing. You can see how far that advice went with me. Clearly, I haven't listened. But I think we have a powerful manner in which we can engage in physical contact with our students while teaching an essential social skill and mitigating the litigious inclinations. For the love of Pete, just teach your students how to shake hands and continue to engage in that activity consistently. It is a simple act, like the intentional eye contact and smiling that we've talked about, that pays immense dividends for the nominal investment. I can remember when I learned just how important a solid handshake was in social interactions. When I was a sophomore in high school, I had an ankle injury during football season. My father took me to see a trainer at a local university. That trainer that I met was from a different generation than mine. He played football in a time when those who elected to participate while wearing the leather helmet were sneered at for being soft. My father introduced me to this gentleman, and I extended my hand. Upon grasping my hand, the trainer said, son, before we fix your ankle, we need to fix your handshake because there's obviously more wrong with you than what your father knows about. You need to come in and meet at the crease between your thumb and your first finger. Take hold all the way around the knuckles. But don't try to make no dust out of them. 1 or 2 pumps is enough. It ain't foreplay. We're just getting to know each other. Are we clear, son? Clear indeed. I never forgot that lesson. I also know it's a lesson that many students never get. That alone is reason enough to engage in the handshake intervention. In doing so, you may end up being the person that taught the lesson that allowed a student to find gainful employment someday. And if this feels right for you, by all means, bring in the high fives, the pounds, the pats on the back, etc. If the only thing you do is make sure every one of your students gets one of those every day, you will be party to some significant climate interventions. And now for the disclaimer. Some of you will absolutely not be cool with this, and I completely respect that perspective. If this element of touch is out of your comfort zone, you have my permission to disregard everything I have advocated and rationalized from what I have just told you. But with that disregard comes an obligation. You now have an obligation to apply both eye contact and that intentional smile with all the greater frequency. You can more than make up the missing distance through use of those other 2 interventions. And fortunately for you, Mark has one more habit he's going to bring your way in the next couple of weeks, and you can lay that one on heavy too. Stay tuned for the next installment. By the way, you can check our stuff out at missionmonday.com. You can follow us through Twitter or like us on Facebook as well. and we'll keep bringing a way to make your school community a better place 1 week at a time, every week. See you later.